Yellow. Now drawing eyes could either be the easiest thing or the hardest thing you could do as an artist. So you've been constantly drawing eyes on your notebooks, but you can't draw digitally. Well, Sensei is here to give you advice. The advice is, it's the same concept as sketching on your notebooks. Simple, easy. That's all. Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. I'll run you through how I draw eyes, from sketching it out, coloring it, and the lighting values. So this video will be broken down into 3 parts. Number 1, we start off with sketching. I draw using one eye shape because I like this look and also because my eyes are like this. So I'm most familiar with these kind of eyes. So I guess it would help if you draw what is most familiar to you. And what would be more familiar to you than your own eye? But to be specific, I start off with the parallelogram shape and I draw the eye using the lines of this shape. I imagine them. I also add a very obvious water line for the eyes and of course the double eyelid. So now that you have your sketch, it's time to color it. I do things in grayscale, so I'll start off with that. But if you want a more in-depth video on that, please check out my channel for the video of how to render skin. It's only 3 minutes long, won't take you that much, so it's better if you watch that and come back to this. So this is my base after grayscale, and after adding the colors and merging the layers, I will then smooth out the area around the eyes, like under the eyes and the eyelids, before I work on the actual eye, like so. I will also add few saturated blotches here and there and, soften and smoothen things out to add more color and dimension to the eye. And then now onto the eye. I will polish the lines of the eyes and then I will add this purplish, grayish color for the eye whites. This color works best for my eye whites. It depends on your color palette really, so it's best if you pick an eye white that is more appropriate for the skin tone that you use. And I then used the previous color and I blended with the purple for a natural gradient, usually in the corners of the eyes. Now we move on to the iris. I also start this in grayscale mainly because I want to be able to see what colors work best, and it's just for me to figure out what color I would like the eye to be. Then I use the airbrush and I add a dark gray for the iris, and then a darker gray to emphasize the shape of the iris. And then I airbrush a lighter gray like so within the eye. And then for the last part, I add a black dot for the pupil. Then after selecting the colors to my liking and merging the soft light layer, I will then polish the colors in the eyes like this. And now we are done with our eye. However, it seems very much lacking, doesn't it? So that's where part 3 comes in, the light values, the shadows, the highlights. So to do that, I start off with a new layer and I clip it under multiply, and then using the airbrush, I paint on top of the eye, usually with a darker purple, right below the top lash for the shadows. This is a very important step because it brings out the depth to the eyes. Here are some examples of it with and without. And even in anime, they don't fail to show the shadows, like here. So once that's done, I clip on another layer under add and usually start off with a single white dot for the eye shine. It helps show which direction the character is looking in as well. And then using a color similar to the eye color I'm using, usually I will use the airdrop tool for this. I will start to make the eye glow with the airbrush, and then I use the watercolor brush to make sharper lines for the highlights. Then using a color that is in between the eye white and the eye color, I will airbrush a line right about here and then done. Or sometimes what I like to add is random squiggles of lines on the eye white, but not today. So now we're done with the eye highlights and the eye shadows. However, it does not end there. I also highlight the lash line because that's how I like my eyes to look. I also occasionally add the shine on the eyelid for some spice. So yeah, that's all I guess. And then you add your eyelashes and then you make them fancy and then yeah, you're done. So now that you got your eye, you draw the other eye. Or maybe not. Or you maybe duplicate it. It's cheating, but it's okay. You drew one eye at least. I don't know. So that's all I have for you today. Bye.